Alright, this is Excellent Men Legends 252. Didn't switch off the video. I am not going to talk at length again about how this character on the cover who is having a bad century. Legend Dan Stevens, how he is a character that I wish was better than he is. Instead, I am going to talk about, mostly complain about, how much I hated the other Excellent Men books at the time, and how this stuff done with Dan Stevens is the only thing that comes after the big coming second crossover that I thought was any good. This is part 3 of the story. We have the Excellent Men, which includes Dan Stevens. They have gone out across the globe to stop a bunch of evil muties that were created by one of the evil personalities in Dan Stevens' head. Here is the City of Love, Paris. I have never been, but the artist's depiction of Paris might be as bad and unintentionally funny as their depiction of London in the previous issue. Rouge is fighting one of these bad guys, and his deal is that any pain he feels, he can transfer to someone else. So here we have him stabbing himself in the shoulder, but Rouge feels it instead of him. And then he blows himself up, which wipes Rouge out. Quite a creative power. I wish we saw more of this guy. I think there is more to do with him. Bonus review time. This game was a spectacular thrill for a Captain America fan. It was basically an Arkham copycat, but I loved throwing his shield at enemies, and Madam Hydra was sexy in it. I just wish that the classic Captain America costume was unlocked much earlier in the game, because as it stands, you didn't get it until you have nearly completed the game. That is unacceptable in my eyes. So the team, they regroup with the defeated Rouge. And what this book does, and what the other Excellent Men books were not doing after coming second, was this was evolving characters in natural ways. It was giving Rouge and Ed Gambit new stuff today, which was not toxic to their established characters or their histories. And just like the books that came before, coming second, it was fleshing out and growing characters who usually sat in the background. Not just Dan Stevens, but also Vixen. She had been around since the 80s, and she even joined the Excellent Men for a story before this run. But she never had much of a character besides being an angry person. This scene here with Mr. Magnets, it establishes for the first time some of her backstory and why she got into the world of evil muties. And then it tosses all the goodwill out the window by ending on some bollocks about Mr. Magnet and Rouge being a perfect couple. Terrible. Fucking hate that pairing. Dan Stevens is obviously another character who grew in the same way that characters did in that period I liked. His evolution began in that stuff and kind of came to its head in Coming Second, when he helped them fight against an army of Nimrods. And after Coming Second, all the other Excellent Men books went down the toilet for me, but this one managed to hold on to Summit for a year or two more. It wasn't a game changer, and it did have some horrendous stuff, like the aforementioned Mr. Magnet and Rouge relationship, but it felt like a consolation prize for someone who had enjoyed the book so much and then felt slapped in the face by them all becoming Wolfman fanboy wankfests that defecate all over Cyclist and anyone else. And it's not even that the Wolfman fanboy shit is good for that character. Anyone who thinks that Wolfman is the Dr. X to the next generation of Excellent Men is fucking off and on glue. Anyone who thinks that between Wolfman and Cyclist, it is Cyclist that is the irredeemable murderer whose dead wife wouldn't even want to be near anymore. Like, honestly, I have nothing but serious, violent contempt for the two frauds who took our The Excellent Men after Coming Second and made Cyclist into Mutie Hitler and Wolfman into cuddly Professor Logan. And had Emma Frosties have an affair with a rapey fishman, and made Steelman into a remorseless murderer. We're talking about totally breaking a franchise for me. And this is a good 8 years or so before Jonathan Huckleberry. I would love to say that Jonathan Huckleberry had made The Excellent Men unrecognisable and unreadable to me, but all the damage was done long before him. All he has done is contort the corpse into another disgusting, unflattering state. And since this is a complaint fest of a video, it is time to discuss the shittiest people in the world. People that I hold in lower regard than Jonathan Huckleberry and the hack frauds who ruined The Excellent Men forever. And that is the fucking scalper cunts on eBay and stuff like that who inflate the cost of issues for bullshit reasons. You see, one of the bad guys that Dan Stevens created is called Endgame. They are not actually in this issue, but we will come to that. The final 2 issues of this story arc, those eBay pricks decided to raise the price of by about 5 times by claiming that it is the first appearance of Endgame. It's blatantly a trick to try and fool people who didn't really read comics but who want key issues. And they see that and they think that this is important to the film, Avengers Endgame. It's not. It's really not. There is no link at all besides the name. But, as I said, the Endgame character isn't actually in this issue. Those twats are so disinterested and ill-informed, and they didn't bother to read any comics to confirm the mass bullshit they all peddle to rip people off, and they assume that this bad guy, who is the main bad guy in this story, they assume he must be Endgame. He's not. He is called Styx. He is on the cover to the next issue. Both Styx and Endgame, they have fuck all to do with Avengers Endgame. It's just a bunch of vulgar con artists tricking grandmas and casual readers into forking over 50 quid for a comic that has no heightened value at all. A lot of moan in this video, but I like this story. I think we have a great little Dan Stevens trilogy that climaxes with this story arc. It began with Coming Second, and then Age of Egg, and it continued to this. I think this is the most viable and well executed iteration of his character. And even if you strip away him or his part in the story, there are still some elements of this that are fun. We had the Pain guy. He's a pretty fun idea. I'll give this 7 thumbs up, but remind you that I am not Legend's biggest fan at all.